Most often, men are never going to be direct and transparent with you. They might be telling you just what you want to hear. So how do you know if a man truly wants to commit to you? Well, keep watching this video. I'm going to tell you the 5 more bizarre signs that a man wants to commit to you. I'm Jason Silver. I'm the dating coach for ambitious women. You've reached my channel, Attract Great Guys, where I go deep into the psychology of attraction with high quality men. So if you want to get notified of all of my upcoming free trainings and my videos on how to understand men and attract a lifelong committed relationship, then hit that red subscribe button below the video and the little notification bell right next to it so you get notified of all of my upcoming videos. And now let's jump right into these 5 bizarre signs. Now, the first sign is if you begin getting into more disagreements with your man. Now, this might seem totally counterintuitive. Why would getting into disagreements be an indicator that he wants to commit to you? And I'll tell you, by understanding what your disagreements are about, you can gain deeper insight into what he's really thinking and what he cares about. Because as a relationship evolves and things become more committed, you begin discussing things that matter, that are really important. And these are polarizing. How you address these disagreements are important. And the more that we care about something, the more that it invokes emotion and the more passionate we are. So if he starts talking to you about things that are important to him, about his future, about your future, and there's some disagreements, well, that's only gonna come up only if he cares and wants to really connect with you. Now, these types of disagreements are some of the best ways that you can learn to develop a communication style that's sustainable. Because any lifelong committed relationship, you're gonna have to move through these disagreements and eventually compromise. And the way in which you compromise, that is essential to the health of the relationship. So the more that you disagree, but also move through the disagreements in a healthy way, the more that he's going to want to commit to you and the more that you'll know if this is the right guy to have a committed relationship with. Now, I did this with my own wife. I remember we would get into these, looking back, ridiculous disagreements before we were married, and we'd talk about raising kids, and we would have these ridiculous scenarios, like what if they said this, or what if they got into this fight in school, etc. And we'd get into these discussions about these fantasy situations, these fantasy kids, and we'd stop and look at each other. I remember we'd just start laughing, like, how are we debating about a kid that we don't even have? But it's because we were planning a future, and these things actually mattered, and we were discussing and debating before it became a real issue. So healthy disagreement and moving through that is just a sign that you're growing more intimate and closer and learning how to navigate this world together. Now, the second sign is if you decide to get a pet together. Because if he wants to get a pet with you, there's a risk. If you don't end up together in the long term and you get a pet together, it's a horrible, sad thing to do to one another and to this pet. It's a big risk, bottom line. So typically, for the most part, if he takes this next step with you, it's because he's looking at a longer committed relationship. So I personally recommend pets before having kids together. My wife and I adopted a Doberman from the Illinois Doberman Rescue. It's been 11 years now. He was 11 months old at the time. His name's Rocky. And for us, it was such a great opportunity to learn this shared responsibility and working together to help train him and bring him to classes and walk him. And it's obviously different than having kids, but it's a really great step that we took together. And I actually still want to write my book called The Dog Owner's Guide to Raising Kids, but that's another story. If he does want to move forward and get a pet with you, that is another great indicator that he's looking to commit. The third sign is if he's planning a big trip with you in the next 3, 6, 9 months out, because vacations or travel require a financial investment. So if it requires you purchasing airfare or reserving your hotel, anything non-refundable, it's a great sign that he's looking to really commit to you in the long term. Because in general, again, traveling with one another is a commitment. It takes a certain personality to be good travel buddies, and it's just another great way for you both to deepen your relationship together. Now, I encourage you, if you have the opportunity to travel together, do it. It's such a great way to learn more about the other person and to build intimacy. The fourth sign is if he's making his relationship status public. If he's telling his friends, his family, if he's putting it public on social media that he's in this relationship with you, that's a huge indicator that he's more serious, because if a man's hiding you, if he's not sharing his relationship status, well, that just keeps him open for the opportunity to be a single man in the public world, to meet other women, and to be more attractive to other women. But the moment that he puts this out there and he lets people know that he's in a committed relationship, he's kind of burning some of his bridges. He's putting his own ego on the line also, because he's saying, look, I'm investing in this relationship, so it's important to me. And if it doesn't work out, there's the risk that he's going to be seen as someone who gets in and out of relationships very often, which is not always helpful if you're looking to get set up, or just overall when you're putting out your public persona. So it's definitely something to consider. The more public he makes your relationship, typically means the more invested he is. Now, the fifth and the final sign that he wants to commit to you is if he starts revealing his deal breakers, or things that would typically turn someone else off in a relationship. Maybe there's medical issues that he has, or a major event in his life that isn't attractive, that he might not want to tell someone that he just started dating. Things that might be a deal breaker for some people, but for whatever reason, he wants you to know about it. And he's likely revealing this because he's becoming more intimate and more transparent with you, and he's thinking about the future, and he's realizing that if you stay together, at some point you're going to find out. Now, some people are not as polarizing. They may want to wait months to reveal certain things, sometimes even years, to bring you into their circle of trust. But once they do, realize that it's because they're wanting a more intimate, deeper, committed relationship. So the more that you're learning about the person, the more they're likely investing in that relationship. Now, these 5 signs are great indicators. If you're looking for them, they're going to be some of the best guides that you can use to determine how your relationship is actually growing. And if you want to have me personally giving you insight into your own specific dating situation, well, then you have to check out this presentation I have about my brand new coaching program called High Status Dating. This is my most powerful program, where I'm personally taking you by the hand and I'm walking you through my attraction system, where you're gaining more confidence, you're understanding men much more clearly, and you will become radiantly magnetic to the right man for you and learn exactly where to meet that guy. So just click the link below, check out my presentation, and I look forward to seeing you over there. Be well.